is. Yeah, I thought. Yes, Jackrabbit. Y'all ready for this? Yeah, I thought. Yes, Jackrabbit. Y'all ready for this? Yeah, I thought. Yes, Jackrabbit.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the animation stream. We're gonna do some animation today. I've never done this before, but I'm gonna animate live, and I'll just sort of go over what's going on through my mind as I'm animating, and sort of just give you hints and tips as to what I'm gonna do. So, quickly before we begin, what I'm going to do is I'll just go over everything that I'm going to be working on. So this animation is going to be a PALWORLD versus Pokemon themed animation. It will probably be about 3 minutes long. I haven't actually finished storyboarding it. I've got about 2 minutes into storyboarding. I won't spoil too much today, but we'll be going over a few of the shots that don't have any dialogue in them and is more action focused than ones that I can do now. So, to give you just a basic gist of what we're going to be doing, so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be, first off, making a puppet out of this character. He's going to be the Pokemon trainer of this sort of animation, and he's going to have a lot of shots with him just talking, sort of off to the side. So I'm going to animate him. And I'm going to turn him into a puppet and essentially get him ready for animation. After that, I've got 2 shots here. One of a Piplup doing a bubble blast move. And it's only going to be a second long, but that's a lot of animation I have to do. And then another one of Dragonite protecting against the Bubble Blast and attacking with his tail. Alright, and then if I have time, I'll do one more of Dinsom sort of stomping down. But we'll get to that. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and start making a character. So, usually how I work is I like to work in several different files. I find that if I work in one file and I just put everything in one file, it makes way too much work for myself, and then Animate likes to crash often, so it will occasionally just crash for no reason and then leave me with no choice but to split anything anyway. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just by making puppets. So I'm just going to do a 3/4 puppet. And what that means is essentially it's the middle distance between the side of the head and the front on. So about where he is. So it's called a 3/4 view or a 3Q. Hello, people coming in. All right. So first off, this was a very early design of him. I've kind of changed up how he looks a little bit, so I'm going to fix that up. And I'm just going to start by just doing a sketch. Now, I don't usually draw people, so this is actually quite a new experience for me. But I have done people before for different projects, so I have sort of got an idea of what I want to do. I'm just going to draw one arm there. And then just, actually, hang on, let me just put on some music, because it's a little bit quiet. There we go. Oh, I also forgot. I need to change to my drawing position. There we go. Alright, I'll turn the music down on your side a little bit, just so that it's not super distracting. There we go. Okay, and then the legs, I'm quite happy with the legs here, so I'll just leave that there. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to start with the face. I might just make a new leg here. And then I'm just going to grab my character sheet, put it off to the side. Alrighty, let's go. Also, if you have any questions regarding animation, please write them down in the chat, and I'll get to them if I can. Yeah, otherwise, just enjoy the stream. Okay, so eyes like that. Okay, so that's the face. Now here comes the hard part, which is the hair. I'm usually quite terrible with hair. Let's see. That doesn't look quite right. Have I still been playing Unite? I've been picking it up occasionally. I did see Miraidon, and I do want Miraidon, but I don't want to spend any money in the game, so I'm slowly getting that. But I do know that, yeah, he's completely destroying the meta. I've luckily been, whoopsies. I've luckily been put into a few games where there's not much going on, but at the moment, like, as I'm climbing the ranks, I am seeing more and more Miraidons, and they are very annoying. But I have been picking up Goodra a lot more lately, and I think I've been pretty good with Goodra. I keep swapping between Pokemon, depending on if they get buffed or nerfed, so I usually swap between Sylveon, Goodra, Espeon, and I've already forgot the name of the other one. Dragonite, there we go. Okay, so with this, I've essentially just drawn the base of what I want the head to look like. I only do this with the head because I'm pretty confident with all the bodies and stuff. It's just the positioning of the head is the one where I need a guide. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know if it shows up on the screen. If you push F8, you can create a symbol, and what that does is it essentially allows you to put a bunch of layers within more layers of your animation. So, should probably give this trainer a name. Let's call him trainer for now. Alright, so, whoop, where'd you come from? Go away. So essentially, what I've done is I've gone into here, and if you can look up here, it essentially says that there's, you've got a symbol here, and this symbol essentially lets you make as many different layers within layers. It's sort of like a folder system, but it makes it much easier to move individual parts later on without having to mess up your drawings. So I'm going to go ahead and make another one. So I'm going to call this Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make this a guide, and I'm going to start working on building his layers, essentially. So, what I'm going to do is I'll start off with, let's start with the base of the head. So, oh, I need to grab that one, hang on, I'm using a different outline color for the characters, so he's got this brown color. I'm just going to quickly grab that. Alright. Oops. Okay, so let's start with the base. Oh. Yep. So, I'm gonna use a thinner line tool for this. That'll be his head. So that's the base of the head. I'm just going to grab that, fill that in. Okay, I might smooth that out a little bit more later, but for now I'm just going to keep it like this. Alright, what I'm going to do after that is, oh, I should have named it. I'm stupid. Alright, trainer base. Okay, next what I'm going to do is, I'll save the eyes till last, because eyes are usually the huge, troubling one that takes forever to figure out. Let's do the hair. So I'm going to do the hair in 3 parts. Let me check. If I have, no, 4 parts. I'm going to do his hair in 4 parts. So, usually when you're animating a character, depending on what parts of the hair you want to move, you sort of break them up into little bits. So, for example, let's go with the back of the head first. Like this. Okay, so I want it to end here. Wait, do I want it to end here? No, I want to... Let's go... there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to close this off all the way. Just going to grab that hair color. Should I? What animating tips do you want, Sardine? Is there anything in particular? Okay, so I'm just going to quickly clean this off, because I like sharp points with his spiky hair. Let's go like that. Epic. Alright, cool. So I'm gonna turn this into another symbol. Alright, I'm calling for trainer, hair, back. Okay, Ferdo, got a question. How do you make better line art? Every time I try, I don't like that. It's exactly not how I do it in Jira program. Okay, so there's a few things. First off, don't be ashamed to undo. Every artist, beginner or professional, what they will always do is just have their hands planted on Control Z, or Control Z if you're American. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You just got to keep doing your lines over and over again. As you'll see in this stream, I will constantly like undo over and over again. If you want a cheat way, there is a program called Lazy Nazumi that you can get, which essentially turns your line art into a sort of, it trails behind your pen so it looks smoother. I sometimes use it. For more professional projects that require smoother line art, I will always use that. Again, it's called Lazy Nazumi. It does cost like $5, I think, but it works with literally every single art program. It's sort of like an add-on that you can just hook to a window, and then it'll essentially just make your line art look way smoother. You know what? I might use it for this. Why not? Any tip for beginner artists? You're probably gonna hear this a lot, but just keep drawing a lot. The more you draw, the better you'll find that you come up, the better you become. What I can recommend is, if you have a art style or an art if you have an art style that you really like, or if you want to start drawing, say you have a really cool, you watch an anime and you really like their art style, what you can do is just don't trace, but if you just see a shot or a character that you really like, what you can do is just have that sort of on your screen, just have a still image and sort of just draw it as you would, but don't trace, like don't put your paper up to the TV and start drawing. You gotta just look at the character. Say, for the face, for example, you gotta see like, okay, the eyes are placed here. This is what the line thickness they use. Look at where the nose is in relativity to the rest of the face. Look how they draw the mouth, stuff like that. And then eventually you'll just continue to draw your own. You'll develop your own style. Look, everyone's drawing out will always start badly, but don't be ashamed of that. Just keep drawing and you'll get better and better and better until you finally learn to develop your own art style. And the thing is, most animators / artists are always developing new art styles. And okay, so I've got this lovely error, so I'm gonna have to close the program. Oh, let me save this first. So this is one of the lovely glitches that happens in Animate, where your pen just decides to create these ugly black lines. So I'm gonna have to close Animate and restart. Well, that gives me a little more time to talk. Yes. All right, sorry for this. All right. Let's try that again. How do I make smoother animation? Smoother animation is... Okay, to make smoother animation, I would recommend first just go back and try and relearn your principles of animation. It sounds really bad, but like the principles of animation are essentially the crux of making smooth animation, especially ease in and out. Once you learn how to master ease in and ease out, you will be the master of smooth animation. So essentially, yeah, just practice your bouncing balls. When you animate a fight scene, you essentially want to, when you do things like animating a fight or animating dance movements or motions, you will always know that things will always move in and out, and that's the key to getting smooth they'll always ease in and out, and that's always the key to creating smooth animation. Squash and stretch is another one, although I find that if you want to animate in sort of like a smooth anime art style, they don't use squash and stretch that much, but follow through is a big one in anime. So if you start... Oh no. Okay. Well, the line of death has come back, so that this means that this program is corrupted. Okay, it seems fine now, but just to be safe, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to transfer over what I've got to a different file. Because sometimes it just crashes. Yeah, as you can see, there's like a black line down here. That's annoying. Okay. Okay, there's a corrupted line in here somewhere. This is another fun thing with Animate. They sometimes have random corrupted line. Ah, I see. Okay. So, we've got a bit of an error here. Give me 1 second. Have I played BioShock? I have not played BioShock, but it is one of the games that I have wanted to play. It does look like a lot of fun. Okay, hopefully... No, still not. Hang on. Where's the corrupted line? Okay, did that get rid of it? I'm hoping that got rid of it. Ugh. What a start. Alright. I'm gonna have to close the program again, sorry guys. Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of games that I have on my to play list and I've just never got around to play them. BioShock is actually one of them. Okay. Program crashing is very regular for people who use Animate. I can't say... Oh, are you kidding me? Alright, I have to start over. Alright, this is just really unlucky for me. Okay, this usually doesn't happen, but what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna need to copy everything as just bits and not use symbols. This sucks. Yes, programs crashing is one of the major problems with Animate, unfortunately. This program, it sometimes works great and other times is just such a pain to work with, and today it's decided to be a huge pain. Okay. Unfortunately, as well, I don't think Adobe actually cares about people using Animate, so they don't update the program to actually fix any of the bugs or anything. They'll always try and introduce quote-unquote new features that almost never help anyone. Oop, that's not right. The main one that I have a problem with is not actually Animate, but Premiere. Premiere, for me, for some reason, will constantly crash no matter what I do. Sometimes I'll just try to import something to the program. Sometimes I'll just try and cut or splice audio. And sometimes I'll just try and move like one video to another project, and it just doesn't like it. No more corruption? No more corruption. Yay. Alright. I can draw. Alright, cool. Let's get... Alright. Let's fix this up. Oh, I didn't copy the base over. That's fine. Okay. Trainer back here. And this one was trainer head. Trainer base. Okay. Now let's put this into a symbol. This is trainer Yep, always gotta have those crashes. Alright, I need to open the other program, unfortunately, so I might have to close the program one more time. Because I need this base, which I forgot to copy over. Oh, I need to resize everything as well. Close enough. When animating, what part do you usually start doing? So when I animate, I always have to start with a storyboard, no matter what, even if it's just a really small animation. Storyboard slash animatic is always, I sort of lump storyboard and animatic together because I will just do the storyboard in animate, because then I can just get all the timings right first go. In a larger production, it is better to do a storyboard because you've got multiple people working on it. But if it's just a small thing, you can go straight to animatic, I'd say. From then, I'll always make a character. Because then, if I can do some shots with a puppet, I will. Because puppets make animation and your whole life just way easier. Like, the only reason I haven't moved to any other program is because Animate supports puppets, and puppets are like huge lifesavers when it comes to doing animation, because then you don't have to draw every single frame. You just draw the character once, and then you can use it for everything else. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making a puppet because it will always, because the puppet will essentially be there in all the talking scenes, and it's very easy to work with, and it saves me having to animate tons and tons of lip flaps. After that, usually I will do any animation that is easy first. Or actually, it depends on the day. Sometimes I'll feel like I'm doing good, and then I'll go, you know what, I'm gonna animate a hard shot today. And then the hard shots can usually be fight scenes, ones with lots of movement, ones with lots of choreography. I'll go with those. And other days, if I'm really not feeling it but need to get work done, I'll just do a shot that uses a puppet. Okay, I realize this needs to be behind the head. Okay, there's a little blip there. I'm just gonna get rid of that. And then from there, essentially whatever I feel like. In a production, I would not recommend doing this because when I do professional work, the clients will sometimes ask for like, oh, can you get this shot done? Which I will always prioritize whatever they want. Generally though, I hand backgrounds off to someone else, but in just Big Brush, I usually do all the backgrounds. Backgrounds I will always do I'll usually do in Paint. Wait, no, not Paint Tool, sorry. Correct, Clip Studio or Photoshop. I did used to do Photoshop for everything, but I've lately been moving to, I've been trying to move to Clip Studio just because I like the brushes and I feel like the layering system's slightly better. And I also want to try animating within Clip Studio, but I think I'm going to save that for a project where I want a particular like art style and I want to actually be able to animate everything by hand, which I do enjoy doing, but I need to find time and money to do that, unfortunately. Alright, so that's the trainer back hair too. Oh, also my character's blocking this, but I'm gonna move him out of the way. Over here, in the bottom left-hand corner, there's actually what we call the library, and then this essentially stores all the bits and bobs of like what each sort of thing is. So if I ever needed to bring my character over to another project, I can literally just drag him from here to another project. Alright, I'm moving back over here. There we go. Okay, last piece of hair. I'm just going to do the front of the hair, and then we can move to... Oh, sorry, the other back of the hair, and then we can move to the front. Oops. just gonna readjust myself. Okay. Good enough. Might just. There we go. So with this project, I'm currently debating whether I actually use Sylveon or not. I was gonna have a joke in this where the trainer sends out a shiny Sylveon, and in response, the PALWORLD trainer, I don't know what I'm gonna call him, but in response he will send out a shiny Ribbunny, but the shinies in PALWORLD are like extra large, and then essentially what happens is the Ribbunny comes out and he does the slap, and then that's it. But I'm thinking of cutting it, as I don't really feel like it will flow with the story that well. So currently the Pokemon that are gonna be there is gonna be Dragonite versus what's his name? Dinsom. So it's gonna be Dragonite versus Dinsom, followed by Staraptor versus dang it, I can't remember their names. Nightwing, and then it'll be, well, it was going to be Sylveon versus Ribbunny, but I'm thinking of cutting it for time. And then it will be Lucario versus Anubis, and that one I'm going to put the most effort into, so that one's going to be like an awesome fight scene, because those two are really nice Pokemon to work with. And then from there, it'll be the final one, which will be a Tansy versus a Rillaboom. And then that'll be the animation. Yeah, there are shinies in PALWORLD. They have more functionality than shinies in Pokemon, I will say, but they do appear like way more often. The shinies in PALWORLD aren't quote-unquote a different color, or they don't have like varieties in color, but instead what they have is they're just really large versions of their counterpart Pokemon, and they usually have an ability that is specific to them. So for example, in my PALWORLD stream, I actually managed to catch a shiny. It was a shiny Cativa, and it actually knew a big laser move that no other Cativa knew, which I thought was really funny, because he just destroyed everything. Alright, I'm gonna undo that. I don't like it. There we go. Alright, so those are the 3 parts of the hair. I did not name this one. Okay. So that's that, and I'm gonna do the front of the hair, and then that's the hair done. Yeah, pretty much like an alpha, actually. Okay, I don't want this one hidden. Okay, yeah, I can do, do I make my life difficult or not? Yeah, might as well. Okay, so I'm actually gonna split the front of the hair into 2 parts. Okay, so it goes like hello, Del Cosmo. Welcome to the stream. We're currently building a puppet of the trainer. So this is trainer front hair 1. Okay, I'm just gonna do that. I have to edit that later, but oh well. Okay, so after that, I'm going to do one more, and then the hair's done. Now, I usually put quite a lot of effort into the puppets, just because you see them a lot, and it's worth putting all that effort in to see them. Okay, bye Sardine. Have a good one. But yeah, I usually want to put as much effort as I can into the puppets to make them look as good as possible, because you're going to see them the most in the animation, and so it's always worth making them look as good as possible. Do I have any tips for growing a channel? Unfortunately, I don't think I have any at all. My channel is tiny at the moment. I guess if I had to give any advice, it would just be get lucky. Unfortunately, that's all I could say, because at the moment, I've only just been lucky. I guess making content that is trendy and popular, like, you can always do that, but I think unfortunately I'm not really that trendy or popular. So I'm just trying to do what I think is fun. I think if you go into YouTube with the mindset of being successful, it probably won't work out. But if you just put stuff up there for fun and then sort of let it grow naturally, you can do that. But I think unless you're like a huge content grinding channel, I don't know, especially if you're an animator. Are you hyped for Pokemon Legends? Partially. Like, I did really like Arceus, and I am looking forward to it. I'm just sort of hoping that it'll come out on like a Switch 2 or something. Like, part of me is wondering the reason they didn't show any gameplay footage or anything at all. It was sort of just a teaser trailer with like wireframes. I was sort of like, I wonder if they're not showing anything because it's going to come out on like a Switch 2. And then if it looks really good on the Switch 2, whatever that would be, then yeah, I'd be hyped for it. But I think at the moment I need to see more. I need to see more footage. But I think from what I've seen, from what people have speculated, it does look quite hype. And I guess I am looking forward to it, but I'm also cautiously optimistic. Because like my main gripe with Arceus is that it ran on the Switch and it ran awful. So I want a game that runs smoothly. Okay, I don't think I drew the eyes right. Let me just grab... Okay, no, I don't want to use this anymore, but... Okay, I need to grab the character file. Just gonna see... Because I wanted to draw the eyes how they do it in the Pokemon anime, and I think most of them are like sort of slivery, so I might go with that. Just put this, put it on the side. I like the Kalos soundtrack. That's a good one. I have to say, this is probably a very unpopular opinion, but I feel like Sword and Shield has the best soundtrack. Like, I did not like Sword and Shield as a game, but I really like the music in Sword and Shield. The Sword and Shield's music was probably some of the best Pokemon songs I've heard. It was just really funky and really hype, especially all the battle soundtracks. They were so good. The Battle Towers, the Bade's theme was excellent. Marnie's theme was so cool. Just, yeah, all of those I felt really good. And I don't think it was really matched in Scarlet and Violet, unfortunately. I didn't really like the songs in Scarlet and Violet, funnily enough. But, yeah, other than that, that's my unpopular opinion. Okay, hang on. I need to grab a picture. I mean, if you've never played a Pokemon game before, Sword and Shield is probably a really good start. I mean, starting with like Red and Blue, you're pretty much like, there's no reason to go back to that game unless you're going back to nostalgia. But if you start with like a modern Pokemon game, I feel like that's a great introduction to the series. But I think compared to, say, favorite Pokemon soundtrack Gen 4, I'm not sure what Gen 4 is. Is that Gen 4? That's Pearl Platinum, I believe. Yeah, I haven't played those ones, unfortunately. I am very old school. I started with Fire Red, and then I have a bias towards that one because that's the first one I ever played. But then I really liked Emerald. But there are a lot of popular songs that I do know from Gen 4. Like, there's so many Pokemon songs that I can hear, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Pokemon song. But ask me what generation it's from, and I'm like, no clue. I just know it's from a Pokemon game. Okay. I might have to draw multiple eyes for this character, but I'm just going to draw one pair for now. Okay. That's pretty good. Just going to clean that off. Alright, and then... Okay, here's the annoying part with eyes. So when you draw eyes, your pupils always have to be within this border. Now, how do we get that to happen? So first I'm just going to turn this into a symbol. Okay, what I'm going to do is, what you can do is go ahead and just draw the pupil. Almost there. That'll do. Which Pokemon game is my favorite? I'll always love Fire Red, as that was my first, but I really did like Emerald. Otherwise, I'd have to say, like, I think Arceus probably would be the one I would go to if I had to play a Pokemon game. Otherwise, I have been playing a little bit of Scarlet and Violet on the side, only because my sister has started playing it. But if she wasn't playing it, I'd probably have dropped it a while ago. Oh, and then Unite, obviously. Because I feel like Unite is the only Pokemon game I can continually go back to and know exactly what to expect. And it is a MOBA, so I mean, you're going to play it no matter what. Okay, so this is the trainer eye. Oh, sorry, pupil. Eye. Okay. So, that's pretty good. I might have to redo that one later as well, but I'll just keep it there for now. So what I'm going to do is, there's this cool thing called masks. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to get rid of the outline. Just grab this part. And I'm going to turn it into a mask. Now what this does is it essentially allows me to move the eye. Say I want it to look over here. Lets me put the eye in this section without having it go out of the eye, essentially. So if he wants to look up, he can look up, and then it sort of stops as if it's sort of like in the actual eyeball itself. Cool. Huion or Wacom? Neither. XP pen. I've never used a Huion, so I can't really I can't really decide, or I don't have a reference for Huion. I had a friend who had a Huion, and he said he hated it, so I have to just go with that. I don't know if there's better ones, but yeah. But I had a Wacom, and as lovely as it was to draw on, and as lovely as a 4K screen was, it just had way too many driver issues. I had a Pro 16, and it got me through uni, so I did like it a lot, and it was a very nice tablet to use, but just the driver issues I had with it was just so infuriating. There'd just be some days where I just could not use it because the driver just was not responding. And getting 4K on it was a huge problem. Like, was another problem entirely. It took me, like, so many different cables and so many different graphics settings to finally get it to run in 4K. But yeah. Look, XP pen, I feel... I'm using an XP pen right now. I'm using the... is this the 22? 22 Pro XP pen, I think it's called. I can't remember. But, like... It does not draw... I will say, Wacom, if you want stability and smooth lines like first go, Wacom is the best for that. It essentially... sorry. The Wacom tablets are built very professionally, and they work buttery smooth and are just a joy to use. But the drivers are awful, and they do not work 100% of the time, which is a huge deal buster for me. Sorry, deal breaker. But like, if you get a Wacom, don't worry. Like, if you just get one of the cheaper Wacoms, I would say those work really well, because my roommate has a Wacom, and she uses it. She uses it perfectly fine, but they're the lower brand ones. It's just the higher brand, the professional grade ones, that I find I have a lot of issues with. Just with XP Pen, with this one, I have pretty much zero issues with it at all. It runs pretty much great. The only thing I don't like is that it's not as stable, and so I just have to redo my lines more often. But to me, that's less of an issue than having constant driver issues and sometimes just not being able to work. Oopsies. What is happening? Did I mess up my layers? I messed up my layers. Oopsies. Okay. Okay, hang on. Let me just group things together so I don't accidentally... Thoughts on drawing with the mouse? Okay, I drew with the mouse when I started. I will say, like, even if you get a budget tablet, I feel like that's still a huge step up from drawing with the mouse, because there's only so much you can do with the mouse, and it's really impressive that you can do it if you're good at it, but there's just so much more, so it's so much easier to draw with a tablet. So, like, if you're willing to spend $100 on getting an XP pen or a Huion, and you just get the simple little 12-inch ones, I believe. If you just get a little 12-inch one that's doesn't have a screen on it, it's just a little flat tablet that you connect to your computer, those will make a huge world of difference. Like, trust me, I started doing animation with a mouse, and there was literally only so much I could do. As soon as I got my first tablet, it was a Bamboo, and I think my school had them, and were just like, hey, do you want to use it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So I took one home with me, and it changed my world for. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier. It was not a great quality one, but the the step up I took from drawing with a mouse was just immense. It was so good. So, like, if a mouse is all you have, then go for it. But if you do have it in your budget, or as a Christmas present in the future, or just if you just want to get into digital art of any type, I would say ask for a tablet, because nowadays they're pretty cheap. Like it used to cost, like when I was starting getting into digital art, Wacom was the only brand you could get for a good quality tablet, and the cheapest one you could get was like $500, and I'm like, I'm not getting that anytime soon. But nowadays, XP Pen, they're always on sale. You can get one for like $100, and it works just as well as what I had back then, if not better. And you can even get display tablets now for like I have a small display. I have a XP Pen 13. I got it for like $250, and I would say if I had that over my Wacom, I would have been way happier, financially at least. Okay, so almost done with this character. Just gotta give him his nose and his mouth, and then we're done. I don't think he's got room for ears. No, alright, so... Excuse me. Might just give him a little shade under the nose. Oops. Okay. That's quite ugly. I might fix that up. YouTube full-time or part-time? At the moment, it's currently, at the moment, it's sort of half full-time, half part-time. I'm actively sort of looking to I do animation commissions on the side, and those are sort of my main source of income, as well as another side job as a waiter, but bleh, I don't like it. I'm trying to make YouTube full-time, because if I can make YouTube full-time and be able to live off of making creations, then yeah. I am looking into getting into investments, just because if I can get money income that I don't have to work for, and then I can put that all towards animation, I'd love to do that. I do want to eventually make my own series, but for now, I'm just trying to see if YouTube is a viable option to do work. But I do like how it's going so far, and I am enjoying making content. It does take a lot of effort and time. I think if I was focused on doing more low quality animations, I feel like I'd grow much faster, but I'm too much of a perfectionist to try doing more low quality animations. Although I try doing shorts now and then, but I am very much I want to do nice long projects that I will be happy with. Okay, let's go with that for now. With the mouth, what you can actually do is, with every keyframe, these top things, by the way, are called keyframes. They essentially allow you to draw a new drawing on each of the squares. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw different stages of the mouth being opened. I won't draw too many for now, but just maybe 3. Okay, I don't have a color for the inside of his mouth yet. Any thoughts on Kung Fu Panda 4? Ooh, good question. I really like Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2. Those are some of my favorite movies of all time. I don't think do you guys know like the DreamWorks thing where they seem to make movies, it's like the first one is pretty good, and then the second one is excellent, and then the third one's utter garbage, and then the fourth one's okay again. Like it's happened with Shrek. What else has that happened with? How to Train Your Dragon, sort of. I didn't really like 3, but I really liked 2 and I really liked 1. So, if Kung Fu Panda is also the same, the third one wasn't bad, but it was definitely the weakest one out of all 3. I am excited for it, but I also really don't like Awkwafina. And I feel like that's a huge blow. Okay, if she plays a good character and she's not annoying, I feel like that's more bearable. But if she just plays herself, I feel like that would just be like a huge deal breaker for me, because I really don't like her voice. But I love Kung Fu Panda, and I trust that they know what they're doing. And if she plays a good character and has emotional moments, or a good character that the voice fits, then I feel like it will be much more tolerable, and then I can go in watching it satisfied. Okay, so what you can actually do is down here, there's a frame picker. You can actually, if you're animating, say you want them to say something, you can actually go through and change how his mouth moves. And then if you had that to audio, he could like say something. Like that. So that's how I do lip sync, is if I have a character that I can just use the mouth of, I'll just do that. Am I waiting? Dude, okay. I like the first Sonic movie. I actually quite hated the second Sonic movie. But I'm so hyped for Sonic 3 just because I love Shadow. Like, even if it's bad, it has Shadow the Hedgehog, and I cannot be mad at that. Like, you can't... And then the teaser trailer dropped, and then they played a remix of Live and Learn, and I'm like, oh, I can't. I'm not a huge Sonic fan, but I do like Sonic characters a lot, and Shadow is definitely one of the top characters. Like, I can't be mad. It's Shadow. It can't be bad, right? It's got to be good. Ooh, Chris Pratt. Okay, Chris Pratt in the Mario movie, I thought he was fine. He didn't really add anything, but he was there. Okay, I feel like I just haven't seen a lot of movies with Chris Pratt to get annoyed. Because I've only seen, like, the only other thing I would know him from would be, like, Guardians, which I like all the Guardian movies. But I definitely feel in Mario, he definitely could have been replaced with someone better. You know what, same. If they don't play Live and Learn, If they don't play Live and Learn, I will get mad. But they have to, right? That scene from Shadow. Well, I hope they keep to the roots and give Shadow just the edgiest backstory. I feel like that would be so funny. Okay. Finally done with the head, yay. Now here comes the cool part. If you hate organizing layers, you can literally just select everything, right click, distribute to layers, and bam, everything's named. Oops, I did not name the symbol one. Okay. Alright, I only have to just move the eyes back into place. There we go. Whew, alright. That's the head. Hello, Italian Birdman. I am Australian Birdman. Oh, thank you, Keta. Ketawa Jawa? Sorry if I mispronounced that, but thank you. Alright. So now we're going to do the rest of the trainer's body. I've turned this into a symbol, so now I can move the head individually from everything else. But I'm going to go ahead and just work my way down. So, okay, I'm going to do the neck first. I might give him a thin neck. There we go. I just realized he looked kind of like Sora. Nah, that's fine. Okay, trainer neck. Did I went to art school or was I self-taught? So, I did not have, I took, so I was in the Cambridge system, in school, and art was one of the subjects I took, but it was very much a quote-unquote traditional art type thing, so it was very much, you can only use charcoals, you have to do still life and stuff like that, which I really wasn't a fan of. I could do it, but I did not enjoy it at all. Excuse me. One of the things I would do is I essentially self-taught myself how to animate, because I originally wanted to be a cartoonist, and yeah, I wanted to make comics for a living, but my art teacher was kind of like a posh teacher where he was like, the only way you can ever get into the art industry is if you draw still life. No one's gonna hire you if you ever do cartoons. And I'm like, well, screw you. I'm gonna do something else then. So I decided I'd pick up animation. So I picked up animation from him, and I essentially just taught myself through YouTube tutorials. This is when I was actually learning to do digital art with a mouse. And yeah, from there I sort of just took off, and I'm like, okay, I really like animation, I'm gonna keep working at it. And then essentially I sort of learned and developed from the online stick figure fight community. It was called RHG. Wait, yeah, RHG back in the day. I think it's dead now. It's Hyun's Dojo, I think, is where most of the fights are held now. But back in the day, it was called RHG, and I was on that forum a lot, and I was trying to pick fights and do stuff. And that's sort of where my passion for essentially fight scene / action animation came from. And yeah, I did go to university for animation after that, but they essentially did not help me with anything. It was very, I just went in there and did my thing, and then came out with a degree kind of a thing. But the main goal of why I wanted to go there was I wanted to get into an animation studio. But it was right in the middle of COVID, and the animation studio I wanted to get into, they essentially had to lay off a bunch of staff that same year because of COVID, and they weren't taking anyone in. But then what happened was when COVID was over, they had a massive backlog of essentially people who wanted to go in and join them. And so they essentially sent out a quote-unquote test for everyone to do to get in. And then they picked from the quote-unquote winners. And then those people were taken into what in Australia we call it a TAFE program, but it essentially preps you for the workforce that you want to be in. So there was a TAFE course for animation. They said, if you win, we'll put you into a TAFE course, we'll pay for everything, and then we'll hire you on the spot. I'm like, great, let's do that. Turns out, it was kind of rigged from the start. They did pick some winners, but only anyone who was already in the TAFE course, so that they didn't have to pay for it, which was kind of a bummer, and I felt completely ripped off by them. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just start my own animation business. But yeah, that's sort of my life story and how I got here. So yeah, pretty much all self-taught in terms of animation, and then yeah. So I feel like you can learn a lot more from being self-taught than you can from a teacher, but that's not saying that having a teacher is bad. If you have a really good art teacher, he can teach you so many new things in life and how to improve your art in so many different ways. But it's just a matter of hoping that you have that one teacher that's like a super cool guy. Alright, let me just quickly answer some of your questions, and I might actually have to... I'm going to take a quick break, just so I can get some water. Wow, Katajawa, you're so positive. Thank you so much, man. Stick nodes was awesome. I did not realize that stick nodes was a thing. I went straight into Animate. If I knew that stick nodes was a thing, I would have probably gone to that. And yeah, nice to see you, Further Art. Hope you have fun. Kingdom Hearts reference, because yeah, it looks like so. I do want to make a Kingdom Hearts animation in the future, because I do really like Kingdom Hearts, as unpopular as that might be, but I feel like Kingdom Hearts is one of those games where I'm not nostalgic for it, but I played it because Sora was added to Smash, and it was just so off the wall and crazy, and just like, what the heck is going on, that I just loved it. And the gameplay itself is actually quite fun, and I do like... I'm not a huge fan of beat-em-ups, but Kingdom Hearts was actually a lot of fun. Especially Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2, as many memes as there are of Sora being like 5 different characters, if you follow along with the story, it's so funny, and it takes itself so seriously, but it's so crazy and so hard to follow, and it's just the most random stuff happens just for the sake of having a plot twist. It's great. Alright, I'm gonna drop off real quick and just get some water, because I am quite thirsty. But I will see you guys in a little bit. Maybe like 5 minutes. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna pause the music. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm back. Cool. Alright, so where are we up to? I've done the body. Let's go ahead and start with the arms. Okay, no, I might cheat with this one. Gonna just draw them on the side first. Just like that. Okay, here's gonna be the hard part because I need to line it up with this shoulder. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Oh, he's got a little bag on his side that I forgot to add. Alright, I'm gonna add that in a sec. Okay, the way I do arms is... Hello, welcome back. Alright, what I'm gonna do is with the bottom arm, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it down quite a little bit because I don't want his arm to be that long. I'm gonna add a little dent here. And what this will allow you to do is if you just round this off like that, and then I just make it slightly bigger like that, and then just underneath it, what you can do is just circle those up. Like that. Been quite messy with this one. My favorite Pokemon of all time. It keeps changing depending on My default answer is always Goodra. And I cannot tell you why, because I just really like the fat lumpy dragon. I feel like it's just really cute. Close second would be probably the evolutions. It's a tie between Espeon, Vaporeon, and Jolteon, I feel. Oh, and sorry. It's a tie between Vaporeon, Sylveon, and Espeon. And then from there, it would be like Dragonite, and then... I don't know, I just like the fat Pokemon. They're just really funny. No, I don't... I can't... No. I can tell you why. It's just... I like the fat plump Pokemon. I feel like they're really funny and cute. But not in a weird way. Okay, so... Alright, I might have to remove one of the little... Least favorite Pokemon? I have a lot that I don't like. Least favorite Pokemon, Greedent. I hate Greedent. I know I said I like the fat chubby Pokemon. That Pokemon I want to kill. Not because of Pokemon Unite, just when I first saw it, I was like, holy crap, this thing looks like the most punchable thing I want to do violence to it. It has a very punchable face that I just cannot explain why. I just don't like it. Yeah, Greedent is the #1 hated Pokemon. Wait, is it Greedent or it's the evolution above it? I can't remember. What's the... Yeah, it's Greedent. I don't like Greedent. Pokemon Showdown. I don't know what Pokemon Showdown is. What's Pokemon Showdown? Thoughts on the upcoming Pokemon game? I said this before, hyped for it, but I want to see more, so cautiously optimistically hyping. But I feel like if it's on good hardware, if it's going to be on the Switch 2 and it's on good hardware and it can run smooth, not even 60, if it can run a smooth 40 FPS and has very few glitches and is just mechanically really solid, then yeah, I will play it. But if it's been like what they've recently released, then I don't really... I want to see more effort put into their games, I guess. Okay, here comes the hard part. I hate hands. Hands are my worst enemy. Oh, that's what it is. The yeah, I do know what it is actually. I haven't tried it. I suck at... I feel like I'm terrible at competitive Pokemon. Except... I can play Unite, and I can play the TCG. And I'm actually pretty good at the cards. I was... I played at my local sort of area, sort of local card game shop, and they held Pokemon TCG tournaments. And I did... come third in one of them, which I was pretty happy with. I didn't play any meme decks either. I actually built a deck that was a Sylveon Rapid Strike deck, if that means anything to you. Do you think other Pokemon get Megas like Greninja? Alright, I'm really out of the loop in terms of Megas, because I didn't play, wait, what were Megas introduced in? I can't remember. So I don't actually know what Pokemon have Megas or not, because I do like the Megas. I feel like they're really cool, and I do like the idea of Megas, but I've never played a game where Megas are actually a thing. So I can't really comment on that, unfortunately. Okay. I might actually have to extend the arms a little bit. Cool, alright. Here's a fun part. Once you've drawn it once, you can just flip it over to the side. X and Y. Yeah, I haven't played those, unfortunately. I never had a DS, so... I had a Game Boy and a Wii. That's what I had growing up. Alright, I have to draw the hands on the other side. If if they were in Pokken, then I do know a few. I know Charizard. I know all the starters have megas. I know most of the popular Pokemon have mega. I don't know if Dragonite has mega, but I would like a mega Dragonite. That would be cool. This is an ugly hand. Alright, I'm gonna need to sketch it out. There we go. Hands are the one thing I can't draw from a first try. Excuse me. There we go. Oh, I haven't been naming these. Whoops. Have I watched all the Pokemon anime? I've watched most of the Pokemon anime. I've seen all of season... Okay, all of Kanto, all of the Orange Islands, half of... half of season 3, and I think all of whatever season was Generation 3. And then a little bit of the Sun and Moon one, but then I haven't seen anything from there. Yeah, that's about it actually. Have I named everything? No, I haven't named this. Okay, so now I need to go and make sure all of these are in place. Okay, I'm gonna slim them down slightly. There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna add... Oh, actually, I'm just gonna add this in this layer. He's got a strap around him that's for his bag. Like that. There we go. Cool. Pokemon Horizons. I want to watch that. I haven't been able to at the moment. I always need to be in like a mood to watch things. I'm a very picky person when it comes to consuming like shows or movies. Okay, I need to actually move this outside. But it does look like fun, and I do want to give it a watch. If it's not just... If it's actually... I feel like if it actually, like, is not just, like... I feel like with the old Pokemon anime, it got really repetitive. If it's not repetitive and it's actually got like good stories that follow the characters, which it looks like it might have, then I feel like it would be something I'd want to watch. And then my sister keeps posting memes of like, I think there's like a Meowscarada that keeps doing magic tricks to a Fuecoco, and she just thinks it's the cutest thing, and it is pretty cute. So I do want to see things like that as well, if they have like little funny cute things. Speaking of though, Pokemon Concierge, that was really good. I really liked that, and I'd like to see more of those. That's the stop motion one. Got rid of, yeah, I know I heard they got rid of Ash and Team Rocket. It's focusing on 3 new people now, which I feel like is a good way for the story to go, but I feel like if they've got compelling characters and they've got good arcs, then yeah, I'll watch it. But if it's just more, oh, we gotta get stronger, oh, here's this new Pokemon, which, oh, they learn about this new Pokemon today, I feel like that's a bit too repetitive for me. Okay, let's get the legs done, and then we can actually go into doing some animation. Okay. Alright. So pants are not fun. I'm gonna hide those. I'm just gonna do that. That'll do. What I'm doing right now is I'm building a sort of cover for the top part of the pants that'll essentially work as a divider between the front leg and the back leg, depending on what angle he's standing at. So, what's that? I'll show you in a second, so I'll just call this hips. Okay. Yeah, Ash did not age a single year through his entire life, which it's funny. I get that you have to keep a character young, but it would have been nice to... I think it would have been cool to see him go through, like, an aging... Go through some aging and become more mature. But I get it. You gotta keep it... You gotta keep it... Sorry. Excuse me. You gotta keep the characters the same throughout, and you gotta keep it fresh for whoever's a new Pokemon fan in that generation. A bit sad, but oh well. Pokemon's one of those shows where they gotta... It's like SpongeBob, I guess, where they just gotta keep making new ones, and it is really popular, but it's also... I don't know if it's got a huge fan base or not, or if it's just something that people know, but I feel like it's one of those shows where you'll only ever watch one series as a kid, and it's always that one series based on the game you played, and then you'll sort of drop out of it. Like, I don't know. I'm sure there's people who have followed it for their entire lives and love every second of it, and no judgment to those people, but I feel like it's I feel like it's one of those series where it's like, you're a kid, and then you get Pokemon Black and White for your birthday or for Christmas, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite game ever. It's the first Pokemon game you play. And then you and your friends go like, hey, did you know there's actually a Pokemon series, and it's currently airing the one that correlates to Black and White. And you're like, oh my gosh, my series is a TV show, and then you tune into that one, you follow it the whole way, and then it ends and gets to the next generation, and then you're either still in it and then you keep watching it, or you're like, nah, I'm not big into Pokemon anymore, and you sort of stop watching it. Or you play Pokemon and you're like, oh, but the TV show is kind of there. Well, that's how it was to me, at least. Like, I was very into. I had an original. I had a VHS player when I was younger. I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it essentially is a what you used to watch movies on. This was before DVDs were a thing, if you even know what a DVD is. But yeah, we would. I would have the first 3 episodes, I believe, of the Pokemon anime, and I would only be able to watch those 3 episodes on repeat for like 15 years of my life, until I finally figured out how to use the internet. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna watch the rest of the anime. And then I felt very nostalgic watching the first 3 episodes, and then as it went on, I got less and less nostalgic as it went on. But I think the first season was still actually really good. Like, I still enjoyed the entire first season for most of it. And then I felt the second season was kind of eh, and then didn't really enjoy that one. And then I stopped halfway through the third one because I'm like, okay, this is getting kind of repetitive. I realize I need to make his pants thinner. Got all the controversial opinions coming out today. Okay. Okay, so with the pants, I'm gonna have... Okay, I usually don't draw pants in 3 segments, but I think for this one I'm gonna have to, because, unless... No, I can do that, hang on. Alright, I'm gonna draw part of the leg coming out of the pants as well, and then I can add an extra little bit to it so it connects to the bottom of leg. Okay, so I got that. Ooh, okay. Maybe I'll have to check it out then. Pokemon or PALWORLD? At the moment, PALWORLD. Like, okay, I get that people are up in arms about both, and are either defending it are either defending PALWORLD or saying that it's a huge ripoff. I'm in the part where I've just wanted a good game for a while, and PALWORLD is delivering on sort of like a childhood dream of like, essentially, I don't know if you, okay, when I played Minecraft, I was like huge into Pixelmon, and I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it's sort of like you play Minecraft, and then it's a mod that puts a bunch of random Pokemon in the world, and you play Pokemon at the same time as Minecraft. And to me, that was a super fun experience. And I think the big thing was that you could just walk around, and it was essentially an open world, and then if you wanted to catch Pokemon, you can do that. Sorry, not Horizons. Legends Arceus sort of reignited that and made me go, wow, this is perfect. This is sort of like my ideal Pokemon game that I dreamed of playing as a kid. And then, like, I still really liked it, but then PALWORLD came out, and it just added guns and crafting and world exploration. I'm like, alright, like, I do like Arceus, but this is just like a much cleaner experience. It's got more features. I feel like it's a lot more well developed. It doesn't feel like it's a cash grab. It feels like it's got effort put into it, which is another thing that I feel like with Pokemon. Sometimes it can just feel like a cash grab, and it feels like they just phoned it in. Whereas PALWORLD did not feel like that. It felt like these are passionate creators wanting to actually make something cool. So I'm gonna have to say PALWORLD for this one. However, that will not affect the story of this animation. Okay, last leg. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this a different way. It's got high socks. Alrighty. How long does the storyboarding process take? Good question. So, when I storyboard, okay, first it depends on the project, but it also depends on what the story is, because I like to, one of my pet peeves is having shots that sort of look the same every single time. And I find that I like to vary up my shots quite a lot, especially in animation, because I feel like having a shot where a character talks on the same angle like 3 times in a row gets really boring, and I always try to avoid that. So what I will try and do in those situations is I'll try and like vary up my shots, but then that can sometimes lead to me going like, is this too much? Did I overdo it in this one? Is this too much movement? How long is this going to take? And I think that can sometimes affect how long my storyboarding will take. Sometimes it'll be like, oh, it's just a quick one. If it's a client that wants a very cheap animation, or I'm just doing a short that I can complete in a day, or I already know I have a very clear image in my head of what I want the animation to look exactly like in my head, then it will take no time at all. But it's the ones, say like this one for example, I've been storyboarding for 3 days now, because I had the story in my head. I wrote out exactly what I wanted. By the way, even if you're doing animation, writing out what happens in a script form or just any form that makes sense to you will help out tremendously, because it's always good to get your ideas out on paper, even though it won't help you in terms of like shot composition and stuff like that, which are things you have to think about when storyboarding. It will take the pressure off of you when you have to create when you have to storyboard it out, because then you can just think about composition. You don't have to think about what's happening next in the story. But generally, I would say when storyboarding, I always try and, unless it's a really quick one, like a quick like 5 second, or sorry, 30 seconds short, I usually can get that done in like an hour. But if it's a longer project like this one, or even the Pokemon Unite experience, I say about a week, just because there's a lot of the times where I'll finish it and then I'll look over it again and go, okay, maybe I need to fix this up. Maybe I need to swap this over. Maybe I need to change this shot. I don't like this as much. So yeah, it really depends on the project. But with this one specifically, I've gone back on it maybe 3 or 4 times now because I'm not happy with something, or I want to change how something looks, and yeah, sometimes I can't always get it first try. And I am a bit of a perfectionist, so I'll always try and make these projects look as good as possible, which sometimes means going over it multiple times to get it just right. Excuse me. Sore throat. Can we expect big projects from you in the future? I really hope so. If I can turn this into my full-time job and keep doing YouTube, then I really want to do more animation shorts like this. If I can do like... Oops, I've made his legs way too short. Okay, hang on. I should have done this from the start. Okay, let me get this right. Okay, I messed up. Sorry, I'm just gonna concentrate for a second. Got so carried away with talking, I didn't actually look at my character sheet. Silly me. Just this is I might actually keep him shorter because it looks kind of good. He looks more young. I just increase this very slightly. There we go. Alright, cool. I'm just gonna get rid of this one. And that's it. Oops. Cool. So, I'm just going to clean it up and... Oh, I need to rename this. Something like a web series. Oh, yes. I do really want to make my own web series or animation series on YouTube. Um, I I do have an idea of what I want, and I've sort of released a pilot already, but it's not on my channel. But I have a sort of project that I worked on in uni that I put out in the internet, that I do want to turn into a full series, but I feel like I would need to find the resources, and I definitely can't do it by myself. I need a bigger team. I've currently got 2 other people working with me, my sister and my roommate, who, my sister can't do animation, but she's a background artist, and then my roommate is also an animator. But I'm sort of the workhorse at the moment, and I do want to get them to work with me in the future, but I think at the moment it's trying to find ways to pay them, and with the wage I'm getting at the moment, there's not a lot of that, but I definitely want to do series in the future. I've got 2 series in mind that I want to be able to work on, but yeah, it's finding the resources and the time to be able to start doing projects like that. And I want them to be the best it can be, so I guess I'm also treating these projects as sort of like, sort of testing my abilities as an animator to get lots of projects done and get them done fast, and it's sort of training towards the final project that I can do, which will sort of like show off everything and make me, and yeah, it'll be a culmination of all of my efforts into that one project. But I am writing a lot, and I enjoy script writing quite a bit, so I do write all my ideas down and sort of have huge ideas of what I want to do in terms of what I want my animation to look like, what the setting is. I'm a huge fan of world building, so a lot of my time goes into that. But yeah, I do eventually want to make something really epic, sort of in the same vein as like The Last Airbender and stuff like that, but I want to have it more more serious. I want to aim towards the teen demographic. Well, have fun, Jovi time. I'll catch you later. From Russia, wow. That's awesome. Out of the 9 starter trios, what's my favorite? Axel. Ooh, are we talking about just the starter trios in their like normal forms, or what they evolve into? Because I feel like that would influence my decision. Okay, if we're just talking about starters by themselves, without thinking about what they evolve into, it'd be a tie between Sprigatito and Bulbasaur, I think. I really like how they look by themselves. I really don't like Venusaur. Venusaur, I feel like I don't really like. I like Ivysaur, but Venusaur is sort of a Pokemon that I can, like, I don't really care to evolve him into that. But if I think about what they evolve into, I feel like the Trico line is like one of my favorites. I don't really like Sobble that much, but I really like Inteleon. Okay. Alright, cool. So we're done with the puppet. Now let's go and actually do some animation. Yay. What time is it? 2:50. Okay. It's 2:50 here at least. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly open up this one. And I'm gonna start doing animation on this. So it's very short. It's only like 1.5 seconds long. but I feel like this one's gonna take a while to get right. So essentially what I've got is I've got a Piplup that's just gonna do a bubble attack like that, and it's gonna follow the bubbles as it goes out like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'll have the Piplup jump back, land around here, and then it'll sort of fade out into the background. So I'm gonna first just establish where the ground is. Oh, have fun, Del Cosmo. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna have this shrink. This goes down this way. This will give me a rough idea of how it's going to move. Let's actually put this over here. Whoops. Thoughts on Legends? Again, optimistically hyping for it. I do want it to be good, and I hope that it's on like a Switch 2 or something. Because I think my main problem with Arceus was it just ran really badly. So if it can run really well, have the same mechanics, but expanded upon a little bit better. If they do, like, I feel like if they look at PALWORLD, see how well it's doing, and try to do something in the same vein as that, maybe not add guns, but if they have some sort of hunting mechanic, or or make the Pokemon, instead of having like traditional battles, have them more command based, or have more options to ride, I feel like that would make the perfect Pokemon game. I actually don't remember what Piplup looks like. I'm gonna have to search a picture. Actually, no, he's gonna have his mouth down. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm doing some in-between frames of what I want the animation to look like. So it's gonna be really sketchy. Mega's a back again. Dragonite, if possible. I don't know if Dragonite already has one though. Actually, I also don't know. I feel like it'd be really funny if Survivor got one. Wait, is it Survivor or Superior? I think it's Superior. Whatever the last one is. I just want a really long, funny snake. That would just be really funny to me. I guess Rayquaza, or Rayquaza has a Mega, right? Anyway, if we just get Superior, but it's just a really long snake, I feel like that'd be funny. I'm all for seeing funny Megas. Like I know it's I know that people didn't really like it, but I really liked Gigantamaxing. Just the ones that are like, I really like the funny Gigantamax ones. Like, I feel like Alcremie, Duraludon, Pikachu, the fact that they just get really fat or just a really long mouth, I think is really funny. And I really like those. Okay, can I get a view of Piplup's, or the back of Piplup's head? Because I don't actually... You know what? I should have been using this trick. What I can actually do is to get a reference of what Piplup's face is going to look like. Just go into this background and okay, I know Piplup's face is going to be this big, so what I can actually do, if I get a circle, and that is roughly what Piplup's face is going to be size-wise. I can then go out, and then that's a reference to how big the head's going to be. So you know what, I can actually make it even go smaller. Favorite mythical or legendary? I haven't really thought about that. Is Zeraora a mythical? I like Zeraora. Zerara. I don't know how to pronounce it. By the way, this is a very messy stage of animation, so nothing's going to look quite good. I'm just sort of getting an idea of what I want the poses to look like. And then later when I do a second pass, it'll look much nicer, because it'll be cleaner line art and it'll be able to tell me exactly where the Piplop's gonna go. Hey, nice. Okay, and then is there a picture of there we go. Program do I use? This is Adobe Animate. I think if you want a beginner friendly program and have the money for it, or if you just have an Adobe subscription, Adobe Animate is a very easy program to pick up and use. The features it has, which are like making puppets, make animation really cheap. Well, not cheap, but make it like you don't have to put a lot of effort into your animations and make it look really good. It is by no means super professional. It can be used professionally, like it is industry standard, but there are many other programs that you can use to make animations. But if I had to pick one to use in the future, I'd actually recommend going for something like Clip Studio or TV Paint. If you like sorry, words aren't coming to me. If you like drawing your animations and doing frame by frame like I'm doing right now, then those programs are probably a better fit. If you just want to do puppet animations though, Animate is great for that. The only thing I don't like about Animate is it doesn't update very often, and the updates that do happen are pretty useless. Like, there's no custom brushes yet, there's no proper 3D integration. It's very simple, and like, for me, that's all I really need for the moment, but when I want to do any more professional projects, I'm gonna swap over to something else, because, yeah. Animate gets the job done, but it could be better. Okay. Alright, gonna play this back. Let's swap that to a 0. Okay, I think I want this to be a bit more dramatic, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna increase the threshold of this. Sort of like that. Okay, so here, I think I need a few more in between frames. So I'm just gonna quickly grab this. Oh, did I forget to? There we go. There we go. Okay, I'm going to just add a few more in between frames here. So I've got all the main poses that I want down. Now I'm just gonna go in and add all the in-betweens. which is essentially just me drawing in between the lines to get the motion that I want. So he's landing here, so I want him to be quite squashed down, so I might even squash him down even more. Okay, I want him to shoot way later, so he lands. Okay, I'm gonna have him turn his head to the side. Okay, sort of do this motion. Sort of twists as he prepares to jet out the bubbles. And he releases here. Twists like this. Next, I'm gonna edit what I have so far. I'm gonna have his, oops, sorry. I'm gonna have his head go down a little bit more. Replace this. might swap this frame out for something else. Gonna have him. Charge up like this. There we go. Alright, I'm just going to finish it off with tween. Like that. And I believe that is the sketch animation done. Might change around a few more things. Okay, bring him in instead of out. And this one, I want to speak further backwards. The penguin do be flippin'. Okay, I'm just going to quickly hide this little circle. Let's go there. I think I want to make the flip a little bit faster, so I might bring it in a little bit more. Like that. Cool. Alright, I'm going to have some bubbles come out. So I'm going to make those like this. I do want them to sort of spin, but I'm gonna slowly propel them forward like this first. So there's one. I'm gonna go through and do each one individually. slightly. Oops. It's gonna come closer to the camera, so I'll do that one. Alright, how's it look? Will do. And one more. Might extend it for one more frame. Just to really emphasize the size of the bubbles and the speed that they're traveling at. Hang on. Might just add one more. It's gonna go down here actually. Okay, I'm gonna restart this one actually. Sorry. This is essentially me, I'm trying to sort of find a trajectory for the bubbles to make them look like they're traveling really fast. It might be easier for me to just freehand it. And then I do want a trail of bubbles sort of behind it as well. So I'm gonna add one more. That's just gonna be a bunch of trailing bubbles behind the existing ones. Okay. Let's have a look at the fruits of our labor. Alright, I do think they come out a little too slow, so I'm gonna speed up these. And okay, I might need to add one more frame. Alright, so there's not too much commentary during this time. I'm just trying to... This part takes quite a lot of concentration, because I'm trying to essentially keep track of all these bubbles and where they're heading to. So there's a lot of back and forth between me and the bubbles to try and get them looking as nice as possible. Don't like this one here, actually. I'm gonna replace that one. There we go. Alright, and that's this shot done. At least the animation part. Cool. So, I'm gonna take a quick break, and then I'll come back to do the next shot. Alright. See you guys in like, maybe, I'll take a 5-minute break. Alright, see you soon. I just realized I was muted. I am so sorry. So we're gonna do this shot now, which is a Dinsom just landing on the ground and then looking up, and then we just get a nice superhero pose. So this one, I'm just gonna do this because I don't feel like I need to do any in-between animation. I think I can just go ahead with this one. This one, I'm just gonna make a very simple puppet of this Dinsom with just the legs and the body. I'm essentially just gonna grab my what's it called? My Dinosom's character file when I just was practicing drawing it until I got something I was happy with. So I'm just going to grab that and put it in here just as a reference. Just pop them off to the side. And I can use that as a character reference just to see what it looks like. If you don't know what a Dinsom is, it's essentially a Gudra and a Lilligant, I believe, mix. I really like this one. This one's my favorite in PALWORLD, or so far. I haven't actually gotten super far into the game. I've unlocked the handgun, and that's as far as I've gotten so far. But currently, Dinsom is the only one that is staying in my team permanently because I really like how it looks. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and start rigging a very simple puppet. Okay. So I'm gonna start with the feet. I'm gonna use a different brush actually. Okay, and then what I'm essentially going to do is just break down each body part so that I can use them individually. I'm not going to bother naming them this time because this is a one and done puppet. I don't think I'm going to use it again after this shot. But I am going to try and make it look as nice as possible, as it's going to be the one frame that's going to be held for a while. Some frames I can just afford to not put as much effort into because they're just going to be really quick ones, but this is one where I have to be a little more careful with. Okay, just going to color those in, grab the feet, and color that in. Oh, that's a symbol, hang on. Okay, turn that into a symbol. Oh, thank you, Ninetales. Sorry, Ninetales, not Ninetales. Well, I can only do so much. It is Thursday, and I don't think many people are probably still working, so I didn't expect to stream to that many people. But I will leave the VOD up, so if people want to watch it after the stream's over, then they can. I was thinking of making a second channel, but I really don't want to have to go through the hassle of monetization and setting up everything again, so I'll just leave VODs up until, if it gets too annoying and people ask for them, I might just move them into an unlisted folder, but for now, I'll keep everything up, so if people want to watch it after the stream's done, then they can. I also want to see if I can edit these down as well to make them into easier to digest VODs for people who want to know how to animate. But I feel like I'd need to do a proper step-by-step tutorial to see. I'd need to make a proper step-by-step tutorial for people to follow and be able to, yeah, get more get info easier that way. Okay, so that's that part. Now I'm gonna do the squat. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna grab this and I'm just gonna add a little bit of shade to this because it is quite a close-up shot. And then when you're animating, it's always nice to add a little bit of shadow just to the shots that are close-ups, just to make them look nicer and make them a little bit more dynamic. If they're quite far in the background, don't worry about it. But I find that if you've got a really close-up shot, it's always nice to add a little bit of shadow. Just give a little extra love to your shots. Okay. So I do that. I might add a little bit of shine to the toes. Beautiful. Okay, and then that's the leg one done. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the body now. Okay, it's gonna look kind of ugly because we're not gonna see the top half. I just need to get a rough idea of where he's landing. Let me just quickly hide these layers. One thing to keep in mind when animating, try to animate as little as possible. Sounds very counterintuitive, but it makes it much easier on your life if you can just not animate as much. So for example here, using these for example here, I'm using a lot of what are they called? Puppets / graphics to just get the basic movement down, and then I don't have to go back and animate everything over and over again, and I can afford to add shadows in these because they're much simpler shots. Okay. I might also, why not, let's have a little bit of fun. I might have the hands fall down. Okay, I'm gonna move this to the side like that. Yep. I'm gonna have the hands sort of fall down as well. So I'll quickly add some hands. Hands are quite slightly larger. Hands don't look right. That'll do. Okay, just gonna clean up this edge. Oops. There we go. Okay, just gonna quickly grab that. Add a little bit of shadow. That's the wrong color. Whoopsies. There we go. And then pink nails, and then again with the shine. Okay. series of an animation of your Soul Link with your brother that just finished. That'd be awesome. Do you mean like a mini series in terms of like filming a YouTube, or like an animation? You know, I've seen a lot of people, what they do is if they have a really cool like dungeon campaign, or they played a game and they really enjoyed it, what they can do is, instead of making a full animation, some people make animatics that are really good. I know there's like one of like a Dream SMP or something. I don't follow it at all, but someone made a really nice looking animatic of it, and it was just really well done. Like, I don't care about Dream SMP or anything like that at all, but just the techniques that they used to make a really nice animatic looked awesome, and that thing got tons of views, which still boggles my mind, but I guess it's a popular topic, so. But yeah, don't think something's too ambitious. It's only ambitious if you look at it and see, okay, this is gonna cost me a lot of work, but if you're confident that you can get it done and set yourself a schedule, and if you gauge how much time you're willing to put into it, then you can actually, instead of thinking a project's too ambitious, you might be able to but yeah, if you want to do animation, especially for like something that you recorded or something like that, it's always good to think, okay, this is what I want to do. Write down all of your ideas. This is what I do as well. I write down all of my ideas and then sort of gauge how much effort and time you're willing to put into something. It'll be really hard at first because you may be like, oh yeah, I have the time to do that, and then you'll find later down the line you don't. But if you sort of cut it down to things that you want to keep / things you don't need to keep, you can always sort of gauge how much you can actually do, and then be able to work around that, so you can still have a project in the end. It may not be 100% what you want, or what you originally set out to do, I should say, but then having something is always better than having nothing. And I know Soul Links are quite popular at the moment, so doing it on a topic that, again, is really popular will help you out as well. And yeah, just storyboard a lot. So do storyboards, animations. You can do very simple, like animatics tend to get tons and tons of views. If you wanted to do it like in a story time format, you can essentially have, like, there's quite a lot of people who just have like PNGs of their avatar talking. You can do it that way as well. There's quite a lot of those that I enjoy in terms of personalities, but I feel like I want to always put in a lot of effort, and I like to lip sync my things, so I find it very difficult for me to step back and just use a simple PNG tuber. But I should probably start doing more of those just to keep the YouTube algorithm happy. But I like doing big, ambitious projects, because I always try to use every project as a learning experience, so that when I finally get to create something that I'm passionate about, I can put 110% into that. I think his tail's actually green. Not that green. Bro. There we go. But yeah, that sounds cool. So yeah, just I've lost my train of thought. Oh well. Yeah, if that ever gets done, that'd be awesome to see. But yeah, yeah, just with every project, make sure you've got a timeline and a story and a sort of like. I'll tell you now, if you say you're gonna do a project, and then you start working on it with no timetable in mind, that project will almost never get done. At least in my experience, I've started so many animation projects with no goal in mind, to the point where those projects have just never seen the light of day. I've spent like 2 years working on a project that will probably never be released because I just never finished it. But yeah, so like professional advice from me, it's always worth having some sort of list that just lists down all of your shots, how much ever you want to do. You can be just saying like, okay, even if it's a very long-term project, having a calendar or spreadsheet that you can reference whenever you want to work on it to show you how much you've actually done / how much you want to be able to work on is always very helpful. With every project that I've posted since last year, I've always had a timetable that I always reference, and I will slowly just tick off the boxes one by one to essentially it gives me a good idea of how much I've got left, how much time I've got, how much time I have left to do these videos, and what resources I need, or if I need to add people to the project and stuff like that. So if you just use like a simple program, like if you just use Google Sheets and stuff like that, those can be really helpful. Hang on, I'll see if I can show you what I mean. This will actually be helpful. Okay, here's one. So here is, hang on, I have to swap to something else. Idling stream. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna swap this to this. All right. Oops, it's not quite full screen, but oh well. Okay, this, for example, was my timesheet for X and Y. So it's a little bit bad quality, but you can see. So I have things for these were my jobs, these were my friend's jobs, who was doing all the line art. When I was working on this, these would all be orange. So I would say, okay, these would be orange, and then if someone had an outline or a coloring job, I would color these blue. So each day I would just go through and check off a few of these. So like this one's done, and when my friend was finished with hers, she would go over here, mark these off as green, and then I'd go like, okay, I've got to do effects on these shots these days, so I'm gonna go here and cut that off like that. And then yeah, essentially whenever you had any shots that needed to be completed, I'd just go in here and just tick them off and then make them green, and then it sort of gives you a small dopamine rush seeing all the green come together. But yeah, that's something that I would do. Alright, back to drawing. Okay, let's change this back. So yeah. Alright, so lastly I'm just going to do these back legs. I probably don't need to put in too much detail because they are the back legs. There we go. No problem. I think it's good if I can take breaks to give advice. I feel like that's sort of the purpose of the stream. I was hoping that more people would be interested in animation to join, but that's okay if you're not. If you're just here to watch me work, that's awesome. And happy to help and answer questions if anyone needs. Also keeps me motivated to do work as well. So it's partially for selfish reasons. Okay, one more, just the back leg here, and we'll be done. The music is hang on, give me one sec. It's Animal Crossing City Folk. I'm not sure if I'm actually allowed to use this music, but I see a lot of other streamers use it, so I'm like, eh, should be fine. It doesn't get content ID'd, so it should be fine. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Welcome back, Jovi. We're animating the Dinsom shot at the moment, where he first enters and drops down, and then looks menacingly at the camera. Okay. I feel like he's not that fat. I might mess around with the size a little bit. There we go. Okay, I need to have a quick look at what Dinosom's back looks like, because I'm actually not sure how the tail works. Oh, it goes up his back. Okay, so I'm just going to go back in here. Gonna quickly do a little line art there, and then just grab that color. Awesome. Alright, cool. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab these frames. Hey, another Aussie animator. Oh, thank you so much, Luctez. That's awesome. Keep going with your animation as well. Okay, so. Oops, I haven't actually turned this into a symbol yet. Turn this into a symbol as well. Okay, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Well, not cheat, but do a little bit of a trick where I'm gonna extend the legs, but it's gonna be in the same symbol. So, thinking around here. There we go. What I can do now. Just grab this, add some shade to it. I might actually bring that in a little bit more. There we go. What I can do is I'm going to select single frame on this so I don't mess it up. Okay. Alright, so here comes the fun part. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this up like this. This is going to be the end frame. This is going to be the start frame. Oh, what's this? Why is there a hole there? There we go. Okay. So it's going to be up like this first. Leg's going to be down. Okay, and then he's gonna land like right there. Okay, I don't want this hand to come in just yet. I'm gonna have it, this is your follow through animation. I'm going to bend him forward slightly, squash this down. The feet are going to be compressed. Okay, and these are going to be stretched out. This is going to be squashed down. And the tail is going to be all the way down. Whoops. Okay, I think the tail moves way too much, so I'm going to slow that down slightly. So the tummy doesn't need to go out that far. Okay, and then the arm can come in way later. Okay. And then I'm going to have him rise here. and I want a very slow rise. So I might... Oh, there we go. Make him squeeze in and up like that. I'll have the legs match in a sec. But I might have to frame by frame those. And the arms come up. Might just see what he looks like at the moment, because then I'm gonna have to match those in a bit. Okay. So I'm getting up. I'm gonna ease in and out. Okay, the only thing I need to fix is this leg right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm first going to change this to every other frame because I don't like the normal tween look is very robotic. If it's frame by frame, it looks more natural. And then also means that when I frame by frame things like the legs, they don't look as static. Just gonna come up like this. I'm just going to delete all these legs, except for that one. Just going to lock everything and just use this as a guide. Okay, and then just go back frame by frame this again. Just do some very simple in-betweens. Not that hard for this one. Almost got it. There we go. All right. Cool. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and just add the shading. I can't see the shading, so I'm just going to turn that on. Wait. Yep. I have to swap the might have to change some of the shading in this actually. But, oh well. just redo a little bit of shading. That's fine. Okay. Alright, have fun, Ninetales. Oh, Nighttails. See you soon. Have a good one. Okay. There we go. He's standing up now. Might just add a little more impact to when he drops. So I'm just going to twist the legs in slightly. Alright, and just to make it a little more smooth, I'm just going to add a few frames here and there. And then lastly, I'm just going to quickly finish this off by... Okay, so he lands here. And then this is when the Dinsom face comes in. So what I'm going to do is... just going to quickly... how do I want to do this? Alright, I might actually go back quickly and just make the other hand come down as well. Add a little bit of shine. Also, thank you, Luctex. Just gonna add a little bit of shadow on this. Oh, sorry, just a highlight on the side. Like that. There we go. Right, and there's the back arm. Okay, I'm gonna do. So I'll just hand do it, I think. One more, and this one more. starts rising. And then there we go. All right, now what I'm gonna have to do. Oh, I messed up a little bit. Okay, let me just get that onion skin up. None here. Okay, that should be smoother. In slightly more. In even more. With animation, you sort of just gotta trial and error sometimes. Okay, there we go. Ooh. Alrighty. Okay, I'm actually not a huge fan of the arms now, so I might have to redo those. But I'll do that later. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish off the rest of this Dinsom, because in this point, we get to see the whole thing. So, here's where I have a little bit of a trick. Alright, I'm gonna... Wait, is this frame? Okay, so I'm gonna move this back here. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in here. And I have to draw him in a sort of a parallaxing effect, so this will be a bit interesting, but we'll see how we go. I might have to sketch it out first. Oops, wrong brush. It's probably going to look something like this. I might even have to bring these in slightly. There we go. I don't actually have Mario Maker 2. I'm actually not a huge platformer guy, actually. Sorry. If I had Mario Maker, I would, but yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the biggest Mario Maker fan, or 2D platformer fan in general, actually. Alrighty, so let's get this head done. Okay, I think I can just reference everything from there on, but that looks good. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is on this frame, I'm gonna... Okay, so that's the body. I'm gonna add one more right here. And then go down here. Just going to turn that into a guide. Sonic or Mario? Um, in terms of characters, Sonic. In terms of games, Mario. But I am not a huge... Unfortunately, like, they're both platformer characters, and I'm not a huge fan of platformers, actually. Like, I've tried playing them, and I get the appeal, but I find it really hard to complete them. And it's not because I'm, like... Well, I guess I am sort of bad at them, but... It's also... what's the word? I'm more of a fan of like story-driven storytelling or like world building and stuff like that, and so I find that with a lot of platformers there's not much of a story to follow, and it's purely focused on gameplay, which I understand and I get, but I do like myself a story to follow and a goal to work towards in my games, with the exception of a few roguelikes. Okay. So I'm gonna need to start adding some of these flowers on top. Like this. And then it's got some leaves on the back here. Like that. Okay. Hoping that looks alright. I'm gonna try coloring him in now. I might have to mess around with the neck a little bit, but it should be alright. Oops. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need to mess around with the neck. Okay, let's grab that shade color. This here. Okay, I messed up a little bit. There we go. Okay, shading on this character is going to be a little strange because got a little hair here and there. I think Dinosom's mouth needs to be like kind of flat. So let me try. That. I'm not entirely sure how to do this mouth, unfortunately. If I do it like that, this should work. Oops! Draw the whole thing first with zoom in the bottom half. Probably. The thing is, I wanted to get the bottom half correct first. I think I should have done the arms second. I don't think I should have done the arms at this point. I think I should have waited till drawing the whole thing. But I think with the way it turned out, I get a better parallaxing effect. I think a lot of the times when I animate, I do it on a whim and just see how it turns out. And then most of the time it turns out alright. I think I definitely should have drew the base of Dinosom a little bit better before lining it though, because I think it could have turned out a little bit better, but oh well, it looks fine for now. And I think when it pans up, the camera should look better. Surrounding Nintendo and the Yuzu ban. Is it really hype? It's more. I can see both ways. I think that, like, I personally have never used Yuzu, nor have I emulated games, but I have thought about it. And like, I understand both sides. I don't think it's Yuzu's fault for their I don't think Yuzu deserved such a high ban for what they're doing, because emulation is not illegal. I don't think, and I think emulation's good, and it's a way of preserving it. Heck, Nintendo emulates their games, but I do understand that it is definitely, there are a lot of people out there who like don't want to pay for games, and I can understand that as well. Like some people want to experience things and they can't pay for them. And I think even though I don't agree with piracy, I feel like there's definitely the problem that there are a lot of people who will go out and use Yuzu without actually paying for the app, which I understand as well. But at the same time, like, every game gets pirated. It's inevitable. Like, you gotta always factor that in. So I don't feel like it's fair that they target just Yuzu for and blame it on sales of Tears of the Kingdom, because Tears of the Kingdom did immensely well. And like the figure of how many sales they lost is quite large, but it's $1 billion company. But I do feel like removing the program does more harm than good, unfortunately. So, I don't know, that's my take on it. Okay. Last part of his hat. Okay, let's clean this up and then we'll be be completed. Hang on, let me just grab the color that I used in the character sheet. There we go. Oops, that's not the color I used. Okay, can I grab it from here? I can. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit of shine. Alright, I'm just gonna add a few extra little details here and there. There we go, that looks pretty good. Okay, so it looks kind of funky, but what I'm gonna do is gonna have it parallax upwards. And then okay, might have to fix this up slightly. Okay. Okay, that should be good. It definitely needs to rise up slower though. Okay. Oh, and I need to go in here and remove the sketch frames. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna move this camera back slightly. Alright. I think that's it for this shot. Zelda's better than Genshin Genshin Impact. To me, they're too different for me to... For me, they're a little too different for me to compare. I think I was really into Genshin Impact when it came out. But I think the later I played, the more I realized, like, I was missing out on too much stuff. And I think the other problem is with Genshin is if I stop playing it, you miss out on, like, if you stop playing it for a little bit and then you come back like a month later, you miss out on so much stuff and you're already behind on so much stuff that it's not worth it. Also, the story in Genshin Impact is so bloated and the side quests are like really... The side quests are so like monotonous and there's so much talking. And if you really don't care about the story, it just sucks that you have to just sit there and listen to people talking for like 5 hours. But that being said, I really like the characters of Genshin. I really like the characters. I wasn't a huge fan of gacha mechanics, but when you did get a 5-star hero, it really did feel really good. And I have to give it that. I really liked the world of Genshin Impact. The world was really nice and big and was very interesting to explore. Zelda, on the other hand, I think traditional Zelda, I don't think we can compare to Genshin because traditional Zelda is always my favorite type of format. But in terms of like Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom, Tears of the Kingdom definitely had more... Tears of the Kingdom had more to do, I feel. And although the side quests... I didn't find that many side quests. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. But any side quest that I did do was a lot more fun. The exploration was way better in Tears of the Kingdom than it was in... what's it called? Breath of the Wild. And I feel like dungeon-wise, Genshin Impact's puzzles are very simple. Whereas... Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom puzzles aren't that complicated either, but have a little more substance to them, and they're way more creative. And then also Ultra Hand and the Fuse, Ultra Hand and Fuse in Tears of the Kingdom just push that game to like the absolute peak of gaming. Alright, so I think that might actually be it for me today. Yeah, the story is quite bad in Genshin. I think it was interesting for a while, but it just got to the point where it was so bloated and there was just so much dialogue to trudge through that was quite bad. But like 5-star characters and their animations, okay, talking about like their animations and their movements, they were like really cool when you first see them. And I did really like the character switching abilities. Like, even though all the characters only had like a basic attack and 2 special attacks, the way that you could just switch between characters and make them feel different was always a big plus for me, because they always felt unique. And I did really like... I'm quite strange where I enjoy grinding, and so I enjoyed using my characters and grinding my characters to max level. But I think once I got them there was not much I could do with them besides, like, I can't remember what it was called, but there was like that monthly rotation of like fighting arenas, and then if you beat the arena, the last arena would always be like you would require at least 8 level 80 characters. So but yeah. Alright, so I think that might be all I can do for today. Oh, I'm just gonna quickly Did anyone have any last minute questions? If not, I might actually sign off. But yeah. So that was day 1. I'll be streaming again. No problem. I'll be streaming again on Saturday if you care to watch that. I'm also going to put the Dinsom file and the Puppet file up on our Patreon if you'd like to give that a look at. But yeah, other than that, thanks so much for joining in, guys. I'll see you on Saturday. If not, then I'll see you next time. Alright, catch you guys later. Alright, good night, Gia. Alright, have a lovely rest of your day or evening. Alright, catch you guys later. This was fun. See you guys later. Bye.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah, I thought.